Do you know what it takes to know the Lord? It takes your whole life. Everything about you. He wants it all. Not just a sin. Not just going to church on Sunday morning. Not going to church on Wednesday. Or reading the Bible once a week or even every day. He wants everything that you have. Because He can't use you if you don't give it all to Him. You cannot be a saint unless you give everything to God. Do I brag when I'm telling people I'm a saint? No, I'm telling the truth. When you tell people who you are, aren't you telling the truth? Doesn't it pass when he says I'm a pastor? Isn't he telling the truth? He's not a saint, but at least he says he's a pastor. Does a doctor say, when he says he's a doctor, is it wrong to say he's a doctor? No, he's telling the truth. He's a doctor. I'm a saint. I was put on this earth to speak for God. And of course, that's what I'm doing right now. Every word that comes forth from my mouth, or any writing that I do, comes directly from God. That's why we were made. Up until I was 54 years old, I was just a man, a sinner. So how does God make a saint? He comes to live in us. And who's this God? Well, I was created in the Word with the rest of the prophets and Jesus like God. We're created as the Word. The Word is like God. It's the replica of God, made in His image. And then we speak for Him. That's the God who's in my heart. What's the heart? The heart is the invisible part of us, what we were made as. This is the part, that's the part He speaks through. God is everywhere. He exists in everything. All the little atoms we know. He's in every atom. He's in everything. He's all through the universe. He's everywhere. He's infinite. But humans don't know Him. Why don't they know Him? Well, this age was only for judgment and nothing else. This is where we're going to spend eternity. This age was only to choose who was going to be placed in the Word, created in the Word. So far, the prophets, Jesus, and us saints are the ones who were created as the Word. I'm the last one so far, unless somebody starts listening to Him and becomes obedient and becomes a saint, which takes years to happen. to give your life to God isn't an overnight deal. Isn't a 2-minute prayer at a church. It's quite a deal, actually. So with my understanding that I have, I could talk about any part of God I want, any part of His plan, His creation, revelation, which I'm trying to get to, but when I talk about God, I just like to go for it. Just anything that comes out of my mouth. But the main thing is the plan of God's is to have this age to find His people to be in the new government. The people that He can trust. The people that were obedient to Him, that loved Him. Those are the people He wanted to be in His group of people that are going to govern over the rest of His creation for the rest of eternity. Okay, when is this next age coming? Very soon. And that's the part of Revelation I want to talk to you about. Revelation has been known since before creation. It's all in God's plan. Revelation is just basically an end to this age and the beginning of the new one. That's all it means. Revelation was for us saints, particularly me. Because the early saints didn't have the full understanding I have. Because of history, all history hadn't played out. They didn't even know who the Roman Catholic Church was going to be. They had all been killed before that happened. I'm the only saint that has existed since then, and have the understanding to know that who the beast is, or how it played out, I should say. The beast is nothing but deception in the mind, a religious deception. The beast is caused by sins. Satan is the sins of the flesh, the genetic sins that God put in all our flesh. Why did God do that? Because He wanted a level playing ground. That's all. He wanted everyone to be the same. Everybody a sinner. So that He could judge this age and find those people who are willing to come out of that deception by hearing Him, listening to His word, and obeying Him, and come out of this deception so He could use them and speak to them. The rest of the people are just deceived. They're the ones that formed religions. They're the people that just didn't accept God. Didn't hear Him, didn't listen. They didn't realize He was invisible or something. I don't know why. I was involved in that religious stuff for about 9 years. I became this Christian. I took a 2-minute prayer, and they told me I was a Christian. I had the Holy Spirit in me, and off I went, thinking that I was somebody. I already knew God. He already met me. I already met Him 5 years before. Thank God I did, because I would have been a Christian now, wondering who I was and who God was. But it's really not that terribly complicated. But when you're a sinner and deceived in the mind, see, the sins cause. Step back a little bit. When we were all created, All we were was invisible thoughts. That's all we are in God. We are in God.